Welcome to a new anime review series. This one we're reviewing D. Gray Man. This is D. Gray Man Anime Review Part 1. Yeah, my last anime review series I did episodes because that series is on the air. This one is not currently on the air, especially since that the anime last episode aired 2 years ago, and this particular season aired back in 2009. Uh-huh. Yeah, basically, D. Gray Man is a series written by a woman. One of few series I've actually seen written by a woman. Yeah, it is written by a woman who's actually influenced Kelly Jones. No joke. Yeah, she's influenced Kelly Jones. Her name is Katsura Hasano. Yeah, and I'm looking her up on here. Apparently, uh, her artwork has been compared to Kelly Jones, Chris Bachalo, and Joe Midoriya. Yep. Now, when I first saw the artwork, I saw elements of stuff I've seen from stuff like Bleach, Fullmetal Alchemist, Hellsing. As a matter of fact, the first episode was like the first chapter of Hellsing. Let's see, a little bit of Soul Eater. Yeah, it was really damn good artwork. Now, there's a few noteworthy characters I'm going to talk about over the course of this particular review. Let's talk about, before I talk about the arcs themselves, we have some characters. First, we have the main character, Al Walker, played by one of my his dub actor. I don't remember his sub actor. His dub actor is one of my personal favorite dub actors, and I have met this guy. It's Todd Heppercorn, and this is by far, and I have my notes of basically series. This is the 15th series. Yes, 15th series that he's done. Excuse me. There was one particular character I didn't know he did until I saw it at Comic-Con when he voiced Jocko from Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, and there's actually two people from Dragon Ball Super, people who voice people from Dragon Ball Super on this show, and you'll be surprised who they voice. Yeah, he voices Jocko of all people. Yep. Of course, he's also famous for noteworthy voicing Natsu Dragono from Fairy Tail. And the series is coming back Monday. I'm looking forward to that. And it's going to be a semi-dub. Basically, the dub is going to be coming out like within an hour or two after the sub comes out. On the same day, which is awesome. I love it. Yep. The character Levy, who is the love interest of the main character. Yeah, it's implied these two have a thing for each other. She is portrayed, her dub actress is Lucy Christian. I've seen her in about 5 series. Yes, 5. She played the character Medusa in Soul Eater. She is the dub actor for Nami from One Piece, the second dub actor, not the original one. The original one is somebody else. I don't know who it is. She also voiced Kagura in the dub for Gintama. And she also is the voice of Achio Yorikara from My Hero Academia. In fact, I just saw her voice in the recent film. Yep. Kanda, who is a source, he's voiced by another one of my favorite dub actors, Ian St. Clair. I thought it was only 4 series I've heard this guy in. Apparently, I've heard him in 10 series. Yes, 10. These are the series I've heard him in. He was in Fairy Tail, played Bora and Katsu. I don't remember who these people are. Brooke from One Piece. Lem from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Nell Doc. He was one of the people. He's one of the military from Attack on Titan. Character from Soul Eater Not. Katsu Bajino from Tokyo Ghoul. Mizuo Joya from My Hero Academia, the main character Toriko, Whis from Dragon Ball Super, and of course Yu Kandu from this particular series. Excuse me. Yeah, there's also the character Road. She's one of the clan of Noah. She's voiced by, believe it or not, some of you might be surprised about this. Yeah, it's the dub actor for Lucy from Fairy Tail. Chermaine Lee. Yeah, she's the one who voices her. And another female character who's voiced by one of my favorite dub actors. I've never met this woman, but I love her work. And this is the 10th series I've heard her in. Yeah, for a female dub actress, is a lot for me to hear this first one person. This is kind of like Clicking Beard, and she voices one of my favorite characters of the whole series, Miranda Leo. Yeah, she makes a debut in the 3rd arc in the anime. Yeah, she's a woman. When we first see her, she looks like she's skin and bones, but she gets much more muscular later on. hmm The Millennium Earl and Levy are played by the same person. Yeah, I thought this was a little weird. Yeah, they're voiced by an actor named Jason Labrocant. I'm vaguely familiar with him. The only thing I've seen him in, of course, this is the guy who plays Choppa from Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, he was another one. I am familiar with his sweet voice from One Piece. He voiced the main villain of Eros Lobby, Rob Lucci. Yeah, he also came back for Dressrosa, and I believe he came back for the last official One Piece film released. Yeah, the character. hmm Yeah, it's the same guy, which is weird. He voices Levy and the Millennium Earl. The Millennium Earl, big, huge guy, and he's the main villain of the entire series. Here's the weird thing about the manga. The manga started, I believe it was in. Let me look up here. I know it's not. It's publishing for several years now. It started back in 2004. Yep, 2004. And here's the thing about this. You were thinking 14 years. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, it's probably released, probably about almost 700 chapters by now. No, it has not. You want to know how many chapters this series released? As the most recent chapter released, 229. Yes, and apparently this series loves taking a hiatus. The series taken a hiatus about 4 times over the years. No joke. Originally was published in Weekly Shonen Jump from 2004 to 2009, and then it was moved over about 7 months later to Jump Square for about 3 years. Moved from 2009 to 2012. Excuse me, and then it moved over to Jump SQ Crown. It was there for another 3 years, from 2015 to just recently this year, and started from April this year. It's in Jump SQ Rise. Yeah, it's only been collected in about 25 volumes, 26 haven't released yet. Yeah. And they're currently in the middle of an arc that's been going on now for 7 years, and they've only released 22 chapters. No joke. This is how many chapters they've released. Yeah, apparently the writer has this thing for going ill, thinking, writer suffering through health problems and the series complaining this. Why does that sound so familiar? Yes, it sounds almost exactly like the writer of Hunter x Hunter, who does the same exact thing. Though in the case of this particular person, she apparently gets ill. She doesn't suffer through back problems like the writer of Hunter x Hunter does. Yeah. But let's talk about the first season of the show. The first season lasted for 26 episodes, and it covered a good chunk of the manga. And here's something really weird. In the first 7 episodes, we have the first 2 arcs. You are thinking, okay, is this basically like the first arc over the first 4 episodes because it covers 4 episodes? No, this is particularly very weird. The introduction arc, which is basically the first 7 chapters of manga, it's covered in the first 2 episodes of the anime, and then it stops for about 3 episodes, and it continues in episodes 6 and 7. And then we have, there's basically about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's about 7 arcs for season 1. You have the introduction arc, Ghost of Mataria arc, Destruction of the Black Order Attempt, Rewinding City, first filler, yeah, there are several filler arcs, Geometer Falls, and The Vampire of Old Castle. Yes. In the case of all of these, they're kind of adapted in order, but once you get to the last 2 arcs, they do something a little weird. They adapt the 7th arc as the second last arc of the season, and then the final arc is just a quick little 2-parter. Yes. The first 2 episodes, despite the fact being, you can think, okay, is it a 2-parter? No, it's 2 standalone episodes. The first episode is, like I said, it's very reminiscent of the first episode of Hellsing Ultimate, and of course the first of manga. It takes place in England, particularly in London, where a female cop gets involved with the whole stuff involving the things that basically the setting of the series. It's in the 19th century, and there's lots of trains in the series, kind of similar to Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, when I looked at the animation, it looked very much like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, look, is this the same studio who did Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood? Nope. This is done by a completely different studio. Who does this particular animation? This is done by a studio known as TMS Entertainment. Yeah, a lot of their animation of American cartoons. I've seen one of their series, aside from this one. It's a sci-fi series. It's basically the sci-fi adaptation of the book The Odyssey. Yeah, one of the books written by Homer, not Homer Simpson from The Simpsons. No, not that Homer. I'm talking about the Greek Homer. I've read it a long time ago. It's a really weird story. It's set in the future, in the 31st century, where the main character is called Ulysses, and his ship is called the Odyssey. He had to go to Hades, stuff like that. It's a really cool series to watch from the 80s. It only lasts 26 episodes. Excuse me. But it's great. And they actually do bother to finish the story before the series ends. And it's got a great opening theme. Ulysses, Ulysses. Ulysses 31. Yeah, it's a really awesome anime series to watch. I first heard of this series via a top 10 countdown of top 10 80s cartoon opening themes. I'm like, okay, Ulysses, this sounds interesting. And I looked up and watched, wow, this series is so good. I highly recommend you check it out. Yeah, look up online. Yeah, apparently this series was never released over here on DVD. Yeah, it's only the first 4 episodes are. I found the rest of the episodes on YouTube. Yeah, thank YouTube for that. But yeah, it's the only series I can think of. Now, the second episode is just the also introduction of it's introduced about 3 or 4 characters who will actually play a role throughout the rest of the series, and that is Lena Lee, Kanda, and Lena Lee's brother, Kumi, who was voiced by J. Michael Turnham, who I think I've heard of his voice in a couple series. Yes, I think he was. Yeah, he was from Quest. He played Scar. Yeah, this is the guy who plays Scar from Home Quest Brotherhood. I don't think he's anything else I could think of I've seen. He was in Toriko as Jelly Boy. One Piece he played Enru. I think he was the main villain of the Skype arc. And I think that's it. Yeah, oh yeah, he's also in Re as well. He plays Shu Tasmiya. Yep. And it's just basically and the one thing with these first 2 episodes, when they adapted it, from what I can tell from the manga, there's no change at all. They do change something in the next arc, but mostly the first 2 episodes are mostly the same. And then they hold off in the introduction arc for about 3 episodes, just eventually the Ghost of Midori arc, which also advances Alan Walker's character. Yeah, his character, they have these things called innocents. They hunt throughout the whole series for the main plot devices, and they fight against these demons known as Akuma, which are sent by the Millennium Earl. Yeah, how he creates these things is particularly very weird. Yeah, people who pass away, and there's people who are grieving over them, so they have them brought back as Akuma, and they get this. Their soul is put into the Akuma thing, and the Akuma thing kills the person who resurrects them and wears their skin as a coat. It wears his skin as a bodysuit. Yeah, it sounds very disgusting. And luckily enough, they don't show that particular part in the series, but that's how they describe it. It's particularly very weird. Alan has got a past with the Millennium Earl because this also happened to him when he was much younger because he accidentally turned his own adoptive father into an Akuma. They find this out in the next thing later on because his adoptive father's name is Mana. Yeah, adoptive father. Don't know who his actual parents are. Yeah, it's particularly very weird. The whole series, you never figure out who his actual parents are because he was abandoned because he was chastised because of his arm. Yes, his arm. His left arm. Which is an anti-Akuma weapon known as a parasite innocence, which it can shapeshift. First, it can transform into a giant freaking hand, and then later on, it transforms into a gun and shoots out lasers. It's particularly a very awesome thing. Kanda's innocence is basically a katana that he carries around. He just rubs his hand across and apparently activates it. Lena Lee's innocence is her boots. There's also Levi, who actually was in episode 12. Yeah, he actually, his innocence is a giant hammer. I'm not kidding. That's basically what it is. They do introduce other actors over the course of the series, but yeah. Mostly episode 2 is just a continuation of the first 2 episodes is just set up for pretty much the rest of the series. if you watch the pilot for Hellsing Ultimate and the first episode of this one, they're very similar. Just the premise of the series. The next episode is kind of basically more of an introduction, like more setup for the series. For introduced characters who actually play a big role in the course of the entire series. Yep. The Ghost Miranda arc is the first time that Alan and Conda team up to go on a mission. They also run into a Finder, who actually is back in a filler episode. Comes back to like 2 or 3 episodes, arcs that comes after this. Yeah, they apparently the Ghost of Miranda, believe it or not, it's actually an actual doll. They think it's actually his old man, but no, the old man is not the doll. It's the woman, the smoking hot woman, who turns out is a doll. Was kept alive by an innocence. Yep. And the Kuma is basically a giant freaking clown. When I look at him, he looked like Piedmon from Digimon. No joke. If you look at this guy and compare it to Piedmon, he look almost exactly the same. Despite the fact the series aired like a good 7 years after the first season of Digimon aired. Yeah, he looks like freaking Piedmon. He only appears for this one arc and that's it. This is also the same arc that changes Alan's arm. And of course, next 2-parter is just, well, it's basically Alan's first on-screen encounter with the Millennium Earl and him revealing a little bit of his past. Yeah, you get a little bit of his past revealed throughout the course. It's mostly revealed in the filler episodes as well, which is really interesting. The fact they reveal his past. Oh, there's one character I forgot to mention. His mentor, General Marion Cross, voiced by a guy who everybody knows what this guy is. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, you'll know who he's voiced. It's Christopher frickin' Sabat, the guy who voiced Piccolo and Vegeta. Yes, this same guy, who also voiced Zora from One Piece. Estratus from Fairy Tail. This is by far for me anyways, this is the 15th series I've heard his voice in. Oh, seriously, this is the 15th series I've heard him in. And he's always awesome as always. He mostly appears in flashbacks. The whole season he appears in flashbacks, which is weird. He does appear later on in the manga, but yeah, I haven't got to that point yet in the series. Yeah, this whole 2-parter, just Alan helping out a kid who was basically having Kuma in a nearby town, which is nearby to Black Order headquarters, which is on top of a freaking mountain of all things. And Alan has to climb the damn thing. I mean, does he have to do this every time? From what I can tell, no, he doesn't have to. There's other ways to get to it. By boat, if necessary. Yeah. And, of course, he even goes on his own. He does get a little bit punished, but his punishment is to help out the guy who was the father of this kid who he saved, help him with some paperwork, and he also takes some time off to spend with his son, which is really nice of him to do. Next arc is the Rewriting City arc. Actually, no, it's not that one. It's the Destruction of Black Order Attempt. It's a 1-episode, which is an adaptation of 2 chapters. Yeah, it's basically Kumi makes this robot that looks like a robot from... I'm trying to think. I think it's from Batman Beyond. I'm not kidding. It looks like one of the robots you see from Batman Beyond. There's a robot that looks very similar to this. Oh, not Batman Beyond. It looks like I'm trying to think what was the name of it. Oh yeah, it was from that 3-parter from Superman, the Superman animated series in the 90s, World's Finest. This robot looks almost exactly like it, except it's got 2 eyes instead of 1. And it's not spinning anything, but design-wise, it looks almost exactly like that. And the Mousers from Teenage Mutant Turtles 2003 series, except be a giant-sized version of this damn thing. Yeah, and there's also some humor moments. Although you see, like the way the mouse move, it's very similar to how Fullmetal Alchemist does it. Maybe it's the same team and work now, I don't know, but yeah. Chasing around, cause all destruction. It's a weird standalone episode, but it doesn't affect the series at all. Though in the case of episodes 6 and 7, this is one that revealed Levy is Lena Lee is also an actress, well, because when she first introduced, she's just basically the chief assistant. Someone delivers coffee, but she's also an actress as well. Yeah. Next comes the Rewinding City arc, which is the one that introduced Miranda Leto. When you first see her, she looks like she's she's from Germany of all places. When you see her, she looks like she's very thin, though she does get a little more bulkier as the series goes on. And Yeah, her obsession, and she has an obsession over this grandfather clock, and apparently she's been fired 100 times. Like some of them from the same place. Yeah, and she basically apparently her grandfather clock is and the reason it's called Winding City Arc because apparently this town has been stuck in the same day for over a month. For like 34 days. And Miranda was the only person who noticed this for a while. And then when she ran into Alan and Lena Lee, she was so happy and became close friends. So this did affect a little bit of the series, like Alan being foolish, Lena Lee slapping him for the first time. Yep. Though it's a particularly very interesting little arc. And this is also the one that has Alan first encountering Road for the first time. Yep, this is the first time they encounter Road. And they reveal stuff about the Noah clan, which apparently the Noah clan are like 13 people who are direct descendants of Noah from Noah's Ark. Yeah, they reference Noah's Ark several times in the course of the series. Yep. And pretty much Noah clan, they started up as the superhumans. These are people with gray skin, crosses across their freaking forehead. All of them got this, including Road. Yeah, and she developed an obsession over the course of the series with Alan. At one point, she made out with him. No, seriously, she did do that. But that's much later. Yeah, it was a fantastic arc, and I even really liked that really awesome moment when it had one point in Lena Lee get injured, but she basically is briefly paralyzed. So Alan brings her inside this giant dome that Miranda makes, and turns out the grandfather clock is the innocence, and Miranda becomes its accommodator. Yeah, somebody who can actually use his innocence for good things. Yeah. It's an overall really great arc. 13 is the aftermath of this particular. Yeah, this one along with Vampire Old Castle, the last episode is kind of part of this arc. It's just an epilogue. That's really all it is. And also, Alan's eye gets damaged during the course of this arc. He does get healed later on. Yeah, him and Lena Lee spends some time in the hospital, and she spends like a few episodes in the hospital before she interacts with Alan again. And and she does something very hilarious that she also did in manga as well. Yeah, and of course in episode 12 is the introduction of Levy. 13 is the introduction of Bookman, who actually does play a small role over the course of this season. Yeah, he doesn't do very much, just some action, but he just mostly sits in silence, and there's some interaction between him and a lot of the characters. Great character. Him and Levy are basically good comedy foil. And Levy keeps referring to him as an old panda. He gets the crap beat out for it. Also, Kanda refers to, in the anime, refers to Alan as Short Stack. In the manga, get this, he calls him Beansprout. He's probably the only person who does that. And also, Levy is the one who reveals Kanda's first name, Yu. Apparently, he doesn't like being called that. Yeah, that's a minor reoccurring thing with him. And after this particular episode, then the next 5 episodes are filler. No, seriously, it's 5 straight filler episodes. Good filler. Yes, this is good filler episodes. Though there's one I skipped over because I just really didn't care for it. At all. Yeah. The first 2 episodes deals with a leaf that apparently is from Norse mythology. Apparently it's also an innocence. Yeah, this particular odd one where and these arcs, this filler arc, it mainly involved a lot of the time just Alan and Levy basically working together a lot. A little bit with Lena Lee, but mostly Levy. And Bookman shows up as well. Yeah. It's a particular odd arc. Next one basically involves an immortal swordsman who's been alive for 1,000 years, fighting for a princess who's been long dead, and the innocence they're after is his sword. Yep. And they actually defeat him by, well, Kanda defeats him by chopping off his hand and taking the sword, and the guy later dies. It's a particularly odd 2-parter, but it's actually pretty good. Also, the guy does not like fighting women at all. When Lee Travis was like, I don't like fighting women, so he just shoves her aside and just goes on fighting Alan. He spends a lot of the time fighting Kanda this whole arc, and it's mentioned by the finder who's with Kanda that he fought for 3 straight days before he had to take a rest. Yeah, 3 days with no meals. That's kind of scary. Yep. The last episode. Didn't care for this one. This is basically Kuma being jealous for absolutely no reason. The next, well, let's just say 5 episodes, so this is kind of a 6-part arc. This is a Vampire Castle. This sort of basically is just Alan looking for General Cross. So Lena Lee shows up at the beginning of this arc. Though she doesn't show up for the rest of the arc, yeah, and Alan's like, no, I want to search for him. Though it's not revealed next season the reason why he has a bad history with General Cross. So he goes to his town to look for info on General Cross. Now, here's the thing. In the manga, when this happened, he was about to leave, and he's pulled off the train tracks by people of this town because he's wearing the Oh, I forgot to mention, they also did make another change in the Ghost of Miranda arc when Kanda, Alan, and the Finder, I think his name is Toki, I think his name is. What is his name? It is... They don't say his name. It's a Finder. Yeah. Yeah, when they first show up, he says, we're from the Black Order. In the manga, the conductor recognizes that they're from the Black Order because of the outfits they wear. Yeah, they also did this kind of the same thing in this arc as well. Though they're pretty much monks for some reason, which I thought was a little weird. Yeah. Excuse me. And General Cross visits the vampire. It's not revealed to the end of the arc of why he visited this vampire. Yeah, and this guy is I should point out though, this is Aleister Crowley III, voiced by Eric Vale. Yeah, those of you not familiar with this guy, who he is the voice of Sanji from One Piece. He also voices Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. And I believe he also came back to voice him in Dragon Ball Super, and I think even Kai. Yeah, he's part of a few series I've actually watched. Yeah, he voiced Aleister Crowley, a guy who's known for his speed, and its innocence is his vampiric teeth. Yeah, when I first saw his teeth, I'm like, okay, did the writer of the series borrow the idea of how vampires work in Japan from the writer of Hellsing? Because this whole guy's teeth, it's lined with fangs. When you think of vampire things, he's like, 2 fangs on top, like 2 small ones at the bottom, and that's it. Not a whole freaking mouth full of fangs. Like, seriously? Oh yeah, and he also fallen in love with Akuma. Yeah. A female Kuma. He falls in love with this woman. Is it implied these two have slept together? Never stated. It's implied they may have, but they never bring it up. And apparently she wants him to bite her. And apparently his innocence is whenever he bites into an Akuma and sucks her blood, he goes into berserk rage. Yeah, he also fights these carnivorous plants. It's a particularly interesting little set of episodes. Also, they kind of, I think it's Alan who asked why Levy and Bookman are there. They never get a chance to reveal why they're there. Yeah, they never reveal exactly why they're there. Yeah, because, well, they're asked, but the talents ask them to investigate the vampire. The vampire becomes an exorcist, and he actually comes back in a filler arc in the current season I'm watching. Yeah, next episode is the finale for this one. It's an epilogue. It's just Corey on his way to the Black Order, while also encountering people who take advantage of him because he's also rich. Yeah, he also at the end, in the final episode of the arc, well, next episode, the epilogue, he blows up his castle. Don't know why. I would have just closed it up and just kept it locked up instead of blowing the damn thing up. If you want to make a life of your own, fine. At least keep your houses. At least just lock out the place and cover everything with cloth to prevent dust, or you can, I don't know, sell it. You don't have to blow the damn thing up. Yeah, he never reveals exactly why he did it for, or when he took time to plant explosives in his own home. Yeah, they never reveal exactly when he took time to do this. Also, it's revealed why General Cross visited him. Because they returned a carnivorous plant to him that Alan's got knows about this thing. Yeah. And it's also revealed in the epilogue of this thing that Alan is good at poker. He's good at cheating at poker. And he's very good at not being caught cheating. And he basically wins all of Crowley's stuff back that he keeps losing because he's terrible at gambling. But it's a particularly good arc, and it brings in an exorcist who does play a small role over the course of the rest of the series. The last 2 episodes this season is about the introduction of General Jaeger. Now, in the manga, this arc came before the vampire of the old castle arc. I don't know why they switched around for, but it's a little weird what it is. It's a little weird what it is for. Now, the General Yeager arc, this was only 4 chapters. Vampire of the Old Castle was 11 chapters. No, seriously, it's 11 chapters. I don't really know why they swapped this around for. This is only the second time they did this at this point anyway, so they did it a couple other times in the series. They introduced General Yeager. Yeah, this is particularly a very good two-parter. Yeah, the whole point of this two-parter is that it sets up the filler stuff. Yeah, that's the whole point of this thing. They introduced this Heart of Incense, basically, that if it touches another incense, it makes it useless. Yep. And of course, Yeager basically was defeated by Noah Clan, and he's basically hospitalized. And of course, this ending sets up the start of the current season I'm working on right now. Otherwise, that's it. It's a fantastic first season, and if you have watched Hellsing Ultimate, or at least watched the pilot of the original Hellsing anime, you probably know some similarities between that series and this one. Yeah, and of course, some people in the Black Order do something very stupid much later in the series that kind of reminds me, hey, I don't know if this is this is like the third series. This was the third series I saw. When I get up to it, I'll talk about this stupid thing and how this is the third time seeing this in an actual series. Yeah, first was in Yu Hakusho, and then they did this in Bushido-Ruken, and now this series. I'll talk about that when I get up to it, okay? Otherwise, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for a comic corner I'm going to do next. Well, I'm going to upload this video first, then I'm going to review this comic corner. And, after that, I'll do JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, okay? But until I see you next review, bye.